They invite people towards Allah. No doubt the Prophet has said, Allahumma laqqini akhwati. O Allah, make me meet my brothers. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma kun liwalika حجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to this live fundraising show with the Hope Appeal on Ahlulbayt TV. We are so blessed and so humbled for you to be joining us this evening, and I am truly very honored to be joined with one of our dear members of our Hope Appeal family, Sister Sarah Rizvi. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Samna? Thank you for having me on the show. It's truly an honor.
Absolutely a pleasure, sis. I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, doing very well.
Awesome. Ready to hustle for humanity?
Yes, anytime, any day, inshallah.
Fantastic.
And I hope everyone watching this has the same energy to donate and to give to the needy. Because always remember that we're not giving it from our pockets. It's actually us being the wasila to give it to the people who are in need. So always be open-handed and be ready to give.
Ahsant, you're absolutely right. Dear viewers, dear brothers and sisters, be open-handed. Remember that this money does not belong to you. You are but a wasila sent from God to assist the people struggling in humanity. Now today, I want to start with a very important message for you. And it's a word that we don't often hear, but when we do, our heart aches. And that word is Yemen. How often have you stopped and thought for a minute about the people of Yemen? Because they are struggling, and they have been struggling. 24 million people in desperate need of humanitarian assistance. 2/3 of this country is malnourished. Children are dying purely because of a lack of food. You know, their mothers can't even feed them because they're malnourished. How is a malnourished mother going to feed a child? And so now there is a generation of malnourished children in Yemen. What are we to say for the future of Yemen? And how can we assist them? I'll tell you one way that we can assist them. We can assist them by providing a £30 food package. Now that £30 food package serves 30 meals. That's £1 for one meal. That is incredible. The money goes so far in countries like Yemen. Sister Sarah, talk to me a little bit about why the viewers should donate right now, and in particular, why this issue of malnourishment is so critical to the people of Yemen.
A very good question to reflect on. It's a very important thing, especially close to the month of giving. Ramadan is around the corner, and one of the 5 signs of a believer is actually giving charity even when they're lacking money themselves. But Allah says in the Holy Quran, He says in Surah Hadid that whatever I give you, whatever I bless you, the money I bless you with, use it in the path towards me and bless others. Give it to others. And before you ask me, so in the Holy Quran, He says, before you ask me to delay the time and give you more time to give charity and be among the righteous. So what does that mean? That means that if you give charity means that you become righteous, you become with the pious, you become one of the person who's close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So never think your money is becoming less or you're reducing anything in your pocket. And Imam Hussein says that Allah doubles the amount and returns you the money you give others. And then we also got another quote in Sawab al-Amal. Allah says, whoever feeds a hungry person, Allah makes paradise incumbent on them.
Subhanallah.
So this is what are we getting? We're just going to feed one person, but what we're getting in return is the paradise. So why wait? So the answer to your question, why are we going to wait to achieve paradise? If we know what we're going to get in return, donate now. The number's on the screen. £30, that is nothing, comparing to paradise. Please open the pockets and give others, because they're looking towards us. The needies are helpless, and we are the only hope they've got.
Absolutely right. We are the only hope, and at thehopeappeal.com, you will be able to provide hope to these people all over the world. The number is 0208050014. Inshallah, you are one of those people who will trade just a small amount of money. I mean, what is our money? What is our money compared to Jannah? Literally compared to paradise. Are you willing to give up £30 for paradise? Subhanallah, look at how little Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is so little that He requires from us, and He's offering us Jannah. Literally, He's offering us Jannah. I mean, that is absolutely incredible. Sister Sarah, dear viewers, when I was looking into Yemen and learning about Yemen, I came across a really tragic story, and I want to tell you about it because it touched my heart. There was footage of this reporter in a hospital, and this hospital is in the capital of Yemen. So you'd think that, of all the places, this is the place that has the most resource, the most talented of workers. And whilst that might be true in some cases, everything in Yemen has been destroyed. I'm talking hospitals are overflowing, schools have been destroyed, transport links have been destroyed, shipping ports have been destroyed. So in this hospital, there is this young boy, and he's 1 year old, and he weighs 3.5 kilos. Can you believe? A 1-year-old weighs 3.5 kg. And so this 1-year-old is in this bed, and the doctors are all surrounding him, and you look at this footage and you know something serious is going on. The doctors are all surrounding him, and these parents are looking petrified because they know that their son's life is on the line right now. And these doctors are crowding over this boy, and they're trying to figure out what to do. They're trying to figure out where to get the medicine to help him, because they just don't have the medicine. They don't have the equipment. And they're looking after this boy, and suddenly he stops breathing. And when he stops breathing, a nurse runs and she grabs something to provide air down his airways. And she's pumping this bag down his airways. And whilst they're looking after this one boy, there's another boy in the same bed as this boy. And there's a doctor trying to take blood from this boy. And this other boy is so dehydrated that they can't even get blood from him. And so you have a situation in Yemen where whilst one child is fighting for their life, in the same bed, you have a child who's about to die. This is the reality of children in Yemen. And many of these issues are caused because of acute malnutrition, because they don't have access to sanitation and clean water. And we're telling you that with £30, you can provide 30 meals. We're telling you that with £60, Sister Sarah, the viewers can be providing a food basket. I mean, this is just incredible power that the viewers are holding in their hands right now, and you must take action right now. Dear viewers, I urge you to visit us at thehopeappeal.com. Call into the call handler line 0208 05014 and make a difference today. Please make a difference today. Now, Sister Sarah, I'm so honored that you're here and you're joining us today, because you're so learned and we have great things to learn from you, I'm sure. I want to touch a little bit upon Hadith Kisa, Because in Hadith Kisa, the cloak, the Yamani cloak is mentioned, right? And I'm wondered, Sister Sarah, I'm worried that when my kids read Hadith Kisa and they say, Mom, what is the Yemeni cloak? You know, what is the Yemeni cloak? What am I going to say to them? I mean, if Yemen's wiped off the map, what am I going to say to my kids?
Yeah. You know, reflecting back to the story you just told me right now, that was just one story. You get what I mean? So like we've got millions of cases like these. Like we heard like 19.3 million children don't have access to safe, clean water. And that it's we've made it so easy and normalized the fact that we're just saying this on TV. But think of it, 19.3 million people don't have access to safe water. That's like the basic need of a human. Right? And we need to, like, how can we go to sleep and how can we, you know, just live our lives normally, knowing that some people, our dear brothers and sisters, fellow Muslims, don't have access to food, water, warm blankets, warm food, a shelter, safe meals, safe environment. Like, how can we live normally? You know, our imams literally fought years and years to end Jahiliyyah and end this, you know, bad days for people, like to end poverty as well. Like Imam Ali alayhi salam, what did he say in his last will? He said to his elder son, "O Hassan, you know, you're a noble man. Keep up with the personality, and do, you know, just give in the name of Allah subhanahu wa taala. Give to the orphans." That's what Imam Ali alayhi salam said. So what does that mean? That means if you give, that means you're noble. So keep up with the personality. If you say we follow Imam Ali, then that's the bare minimum we can do is give to others. We can provide safe water to children. That's the bare minimum we can do.
Ahsantum. You know, it doesn't take much for us to think Ramadan is just around the corner. And when it gets to, you know, 5:55 p.m., and it's just before the time that we're breaking our fast, and we're clock watching, and we're waiting for that time. Is there ever a moment in that day or at that time of 5:55 where you wonder if there's going to be food on your table? Is there ever a moment in Ramadan when you're having your sehri and you think, you know what, I better eat a bit more right now because I'm not going to get any food at iftar time? There's never a moment that we have that, you know. We maybe have gone for our weekend big shop today.
Yeah.
We've maybe gone and packed our cupboards full of cans and you know, fresh produce and fresh meat, alhamdulillah. We have access to all of these things, my dear brothers and sisters. But the reality is that people are dying because they don't have access to their basic necessities. And today, right here and right now, you have the opportunity to be a wasila to that dua. When they raise their hands and they say, Ya Rab, please help me to feed my children. You know, as a parent, can you imagine the frustration? Can you imagine the difficulty? Can you imagine the guilt that a parent would feel if they couldn't feed their child? You know, we've lived extremely privileged lives, and with that privilege comes a lot of responsibility. You know, like Sister Sarah said, Sister Sarah, that money sitting in my account, that's not all my money. It's not all my money. If someone's going without, that means that someone else has too much, right?
Yeah.
And so I need to learn how to live at my means or below my means so that that surplus of money can go to where it needs to go. And the Hope Appeal is here to help you facilitate that. You must please visit us at thehopeappeal.com or call us into the call handler line. We're more than welcome to answer your questions, to get you involved in the charity. If you have a skill, if you'd like to be sitting here with me and Sister Sarah, if you have abilities on social media, we'd love for you to get involved with the Hope Appeal family. And if it's not actually getting involved with the team, then please do me a favor and just visit us at www.thehopeappeal.com. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows your intentions, and inshallah, He will galvanize you to make a donation and get involved today. Inshallah, Sister Sarah, it's passionate, and we're both getting passionate about this because it's so important. And you know what? We're both young people. And we see this suffering. And what I want to do is I want to show the viewers a video. And I want to show them the suffering that we are constantly seeing and that we are telling them about. And inshallah, when we're back, we will talk about how we are going to make a difference together. Please do stick with us. We will be right back. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Tyranny, pain, suffering, oppression and injustice everywhere we look around the world. Every corner that we turn in these holy lands, we see pain and suffering. We see tears, widows and orphans literally struggling to make ends meet. No running water, no sanitation, no electricity. Please, dear viewers, from the bottom of your heart, make a change and make a difference to these people's lives. You have the power within yourself to change the lives of these people. We just came from a house of a widow with 5 orphan children. Her husband lost his life protecting us from the holy shrines, giving his life, giving his all so we can go on our ziyarah, literally walk on the streets freely. This is less than 2 kilometers away from the hotels, the luxuries that you have when you come on your ziyarah. These widows are crying and suffering every single day, making the most difficult choices, whether they feed their children, whether they send them to school, whether they put shoes on their feet. The luxuries that you have, dear viewers, in abundance. When you go to your wardrobes, when you go to your kitchens, when you go to your refrigerations, they're full of things that we don't even use, things that will go past their expiry dates, the amount of asraf, the amount of waste that we have. But yet, when you come to these lands, they have absolutely nothing. I'm telling you their story because their story is pain in my heart right now. They're the ones that are crying, raising their hands, asking for help and support, saying, Ya Allah, Ya Aba Abdullah, please bring us something, please bring us some sustenance. Dear viewers, you have the ability to make a change. You have the ability to answer the call of these widows and these orphans. Dig deep into your pocket, go to the Hope Appeal website, thehopeappeal.com. Sponsor an orphan directly, £40 a month. Life-changing for the people around them and the life-changing for yourself, inshallah. Dig deep, inshallah, today. Let's make a change. Let's make a difference to society. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much for joining us, my dear Hope Appeal family. Now, the video that we just watched was displaying to you the levels of poverty that exist in the world. And to be frank with you, it's difficult to watch. It's difficult to watch. Having been there myself, it's difficult to watch. I know Sister Sarah has some stories for us as well about the things that she's seen. The reality exists, my dear brothers and sisters, that whilst we live our privileged lives, others do not. Whilst we have food on our tables, others do not. Whilst we flush our toilets with clean drinking water, others are bathing in water that is full of disease and full of bacteria. This is the reality, my dear brothers and sisters, of the poverty that exists in the world. And the reality also exists at the same time as that poverty, that you have been chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to hear this message today. You have been chosen because you have a kind heart and you believe that you can offer hope. You have the potential to change the lives of others and you have the potential to change yourself. And that starts right here and right now at thehopeappeal.com. That starts with calling the call handler line 0208 05014. Now, a lot of the poverty that we see, Sister Sarah, I know that you've seen a lot of this as well, and I'd love to invite you to talk to us a little bit about the stories that you've seen in Pakistan. But before I ask you to do that, I want to mention to the viewers a very special package. It's a package that's very close to my heart, and it's a package that you just saw on your screens, dear viewers. It is called the Little Hearts Orphan Appeal. And this Orphan Appeal is one of the most incredible things that the Hope Appeal do. For £40 a month, you can be offering accommodation, water, food, clothing, healthcare, and school and education.
Very important.
To these children. Ahsantum. And literally, this is £1.33. This is literally going from a large coffee to a medium coffee. You know, this is not paying for parking on one day in a month and walking to work. You know, that's all we're talking about. That's all the sacrifice that is required for you to provide hope to a child that has lost all hope. Now, Sister Sarah, I know that you mentioned to me, you've got a couple of stories of the orphan and widows, the poverty that you've seen in Pakistan. Would you like to share that with our viewers?
Yes, so there was a very recent, first of all, I'm just going to go back to a quote from Imam Ali alayhi salam. He says, help others so Allah will help you. So that Allah helps you.
Sent.
So I always say, like, it shows us that whatever you do for others, Allah will reward you for it. Don't think it's going to waste, or it's, you know, it's not going to benefit others. People are looking towards you. People are, hopeful that, yeah, Sarah might donate today, or Zamna might donate today, and don't even care about people. Before you even giving charity, Allah and Imam Zamana Ajra Ta'ala Fil Sharif know that you're going to be donating. So recently there was a very famous case in Pakistan, that a family of five. So there were three children and then a couple, and they obviously they couldn't afford anything, no food, no gas, no electricity. So the father basically poisoned his wife. They basically committed suicide. So they finished the whole family. And then the father gave poison to all three children as well. And then at the end, when everyone was dead, he drank poison himself. Because it's not that they committed suicide because they was fed up with the life or anything, but it's the fact of them not being able to afford their living. They couldn't afford their living, whether that's food, water, shelter, anything to do with basic necessities. They couldn't afford it. And no one was there to actually help a family of five. So many people sleep eating double, and you couldn't give a family of five? Like, what are you doing? Open your eyes and look around you. And Imam Ali says that before going to sleep, look around you in your neighborhoods. You know, we're in the West, we're actually lucky. No one sleeps hungry. There are homeless, but the government helps. But in countries like these, least developed countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan, Yemen, Syria, Palestine, people are not looking at them. You need to go look towards them and donate there. And, you'll be questioned for it. Like, what I think is, what is the point of earning and having money when you can't bless others with it? There's no point of earning. So get up there, donate, call on the number, give £30. It doesn't have to be a specific amount. Even if you're giving £1, I swear that's gonna help a lot. Because it's gonna gather for you, and Allah's gonna reward you for it. So look around you, donate, and give to people. That's the main message of Islam as well. If you look at Ahlulbayt and Islam, they never ever rejected or refused a person who came up to them and asked them for anything. So get up there and please donate. All I'm going to say is look around you in places where there are 400,000 children malnourished, severely malnourished, So
absolutely
donate.
Right. All
I'm going to say is donate.
That's it. The message is as simple as that, my dear viewers and sisters. Yeah. Very, very powerfully articulated by our dear sister Sarah. Just look around. Literally just stop for a moment, breathe, and look around, and look at the environment that you're living in. And then look further. Look beyond the four walls of your home and look to your neighbor. And this is not just your neighbor in geographical proximity to you, but this is your neighbor that could be sleeping 500 miles away under a tent. And their roof is the night sky. And when they sleep, perhaps they think, imagine what that father is thinking. Imagine what that father is feeling to have gotten to such a point in his life, to see his family suffering so much that he thinks that the most appropriate and next thing that I can do is end this suffering because we can't live like this anymore. We just can't live like this. How many times, let me talk to the young people that are with me right now, or the kids that are with me right now. I'm a kid. I like to think of myself as a young person too. So I relate to you. How many times has your mum come into your room, clothes everywhere, on the floor, on the chair, on the table, everywhere. And my mum might come in and goes, Amina, how can you live like this? It's a mess. How do you even walk in this room? She tells me, how can you live like this? And I think quite comfortably, to be honest. But that's because I don't see the privilege that I have. That's because, sometimes as a young person, we don't respect the things we have because we don't know their value yet.
Makes sense. Yes, that's exactly the problem.
Yeah. And then when you watch these videos, you realize that actually the shoes on my feet even though I've been wearing them for 4 years and there's a bit of a tear in them, that's value for me. You know, that £1-2 in my car, you know, holder that I forget about most of the time, that has value to someone else. That's a whole meal for someone. And I'm not just talking a little bit of bread and milk. I'm talking a hot, fresh meal, a nourishing meal, you know. And when we go back to this orphan sponsorship, we're talking £1.33 a day. You know, Sister Sarah, where do you think you and I could be saving £1.33 a day? I'm thinking like reduce that coffee down to a small, or save on the parking cost. Is there anywhere else that you can think of that we could be saving that type of money?
Yeah, to be honest, if you look at me personally, the only thing I buy like extra is the coffee at uni. And I could literally save that by making my own coffee at home and taking it with me. Like I can literally save that, and in a day I could be saving £6 or £5. You know, like the amount of coffee I had. So and I could give that £6 to someone who actually needs just water. I could live without coffee. Come on, like, but the severely malnourished children won't be able to live without water, right? I can live without coffee. So give it to people who are in need.
You're absolutely right. And look, if you're buying like one coffee a day, okay, you know, say I'm buying one coffee a day. Say that coffee is about £5 if it's got the whipped cream on it that I want, okay? That £5 coffee, I'm buying that every day. If I don't buy, if I say, okay, every other day I'm going to buy a coffee. Yeah, so instead of spending £150 in a 30-day month, £5 a day, I'm spending £75. That additional £75 that I have in a month, I'm not even asking you, dear viewers, for all of that money. I'm only asking you for £40. And with that £40, you are providing dignity. You are providing independence. You are providing hope to a child who has seen nothing but trauma, who has seen nothing but despair, who has seen nothing but a world that doesn't love them. You know, all we crave for in life, all we want, all we yearn is love, is to feel loved and to give love. And that child has not felt love. And we're asking you, by visiting the Hope Appeal, you are giving love in the form of a donation to these children who don't have it. So inshallah, you can heed the call. You will answer the call of these orphans and these widows by visiting us at thehopeappeal.com. Call us into the donation line 0208 05014. Inshallah. Sister Sarah, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was just going to add something. So basically on the fact of you earning and saving money, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to question you on that as well. Allah is going to ask you, I gave you, I don't know, £300, for example. On the day of judgment, he's going to be like, where did you spend each and every penny? And if Allah sees that you spent it on something that wasn't that important as feeding a hungry child, then Allah's going to punish you for that. And it's going to be like, I didn't give it for you to do israf, which is haram, right? I gave it to you so you can benefit others from it. And Imam Ali says, the best of the people, the best. He didn't say the one who prays. He didn't say the one who fasts. What did he say? The best of the people are the one who benefits others with his existence.
SubhanAllah.
That's it. So benefit others with your existence. Charity, give others, donate. Come on, like, follow the footsteps of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Like, that's the bare minimum. As I always say, Imam Ali used to give charity and donate. He used to feed the orphans in the middle of the night. And then people didn't know who he was until he actually, you know, had the shahada. Like, when he passed away, and people were like, oh, the orphans were like, now I feel like my actual father has passed away. That was the role of Imam Ali alayhi salam.
You're absolutely right. And he told us, right, in his last will, in his final will, what did he say? He said, amongst your affairs, do not forget the affairs of the orphans. You know, Abul Aitam. He was known as the father of the orphans. You know, when we went to Najaf with the Hope Appeal, we got to visit lots of orphan and widow households. And of course, we got to do the ziyarah of Amir al-Mu'mineen, alayhi salam. And one thing that struck me, Sister Sarah, when I was in that haram, was the amount of janazas, the amount of coffins that were coming through and doing the ziyarah, their final ziyarah of Imam Ali alayhi salam. And the thing that I can remember the most was not the cause of La ilaha illallah. It was not those men carrying that body on their backs, but it was the little kids that were running behind that coffin. And there were little kids running behind that coffin. And I thought to myself, perhaps these are the children of this man or of this woman that has just passed away. And it's ironic because as they lose their father, they go to none other than Imam Ali alayhi salam to father them. You know, these children are sitting there and they say, who will father me now? Who will protect me now? Who will provide me with opportunity? Who will educate me? My dear brothers and sisters, you are that person. You are that person that can educate. You are that person that can clothe. You are that person that can feed. You are that person that can offer hope at a time when someone is feeling the most distraught and the most hopeless. Insha'Allah. And what's more, Sister Sarah, you reminded me of this when you're talking about our accountability towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When He asked us about, you know, our money, what did we do with our money? Yeah. We know that April 1st is coming up. End of the tax year. We might all be sitting there, you know, making sure our tax returns are filled in correctly, and we're petrified if we get a letter from HMRC because it means we made a mistake somewhere and that we owe them some money, or maybe they owe us some money, and that would be lovely. But most of the time we're freaking out because we're like, this person is going to look at my accounts and what have I got to say for that extra £5 that I spent that I probably shouldn't have, or the money that's not justified. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that entity. He is that entity that you can't fool, you can't bluff. He sees every single thing that you do. What's more, He knows your intention whilst you do it. And He's going to ask you. He's going to ask you, where did this money go? Sister Sarah, I'm not sure what we're going to say to God when He asks that question.
This reminds me of the fact of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that the person is not part of my ummah who doesn't know what's going on around him or her. So imagine it's the same with Imam Zamana Sharif. When he reappears, I'm going to be like, oh Imam, I want to be a part of you. He's going to be like, okay, just hold up. How many of you helped the orphans? How many of you helped the hungry? How many of you helped, you know, the families of the martyrs? How many of you did that? And you say it proudly that you want to be part, like, you know, a part of my army, when you can't even do 1% of the helping towards the people of, you know, people in need. And that's the main message of the Ahlulbayt alayhim assalam. They've always helped. And that's what we see in history as well. So, and, you know, the main thing, you know, especially water, you know, it's bare minimum, the basic need of humans. So please donate, call on that number and give it. You know, we know in Islamic history, we know the importance of water in Karbala. We've seen it. You know, we've seen what happens. What is the, you know, consequence of the people who don't provide water to children? We've seen it. It's right in front of you. So go and, you know, just donate.
Ahsantum, dear Sister Sarah, dear viewers, for £1,500 you can be providing a freshly dug water well to an entire community, and it is an incredible level of sadqa jariyah, but also empowerment and galvanization and innovation that you can provide to a community for £1,500. You get that water well dug and magical things happen. I'm going to show you a video now of the situation in regards to the needs of people and how much they require fresh, clean drinking water. And after I show you that video, we're going to sit here together and we're going to figure out how we're going to raise money to dig a water well. Insha'Allah, stick with us. We will be right back. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I'm here standing next to, I try to describe it as a source of water, but it's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking to see the state that people are living in here. I feel embarrassed that I live in such luxury and our humans all around the world are suffering. It's just very hard to handle this reality, but dear brothers and sisters, this is the reality of life. And this is how people are living. How can we ignore this? We've we've got to do something about this. We've got to help those people that are relying on our generosity, inshallah, and our hearts. I know that your heart is breaking just as mine is breaking right now. And inshallah, with that pain that you're feeling, turn this intention into action. Call us today and make your pledge, inshallah, so people don't have to live in the way that they are currently living.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back, my dear Hope Appeal family, to this live fundraising show where we are, of course, here to serve humanity. And we can only do that, my dear viewers, with your help. That starts with you visiting us at thehopeappeal.com or calling us into the number that has just gone. But don't worry, I know it off by heart, 0208-05014. You can also scan that QR code over there, yeah, just next to Sarah. Go on, pick up your phone, point it at the camera, scan that QR code, and inshallah, you will be able to visit us at the Hope Appeal. Now, the video that we just watched was of a water source. And Sister Sarah, to be honest with you, I struggle to describe it as a water source because it was so polluted. It was absolutely contaminated completely. And you know what I saw that broke my heart? I saw these little kids running, and they were bathing in this water. They were carrying buckets of water on their heads and taking it back to their family to drink, to cook with, to perform wudu, to perform ghusl. Can you imagine the waterborne diseases? We're talking malaria, we're talking diarrhea, we're talking typhoid, the waterborne diseases that are in this water. And then these children are drinking from it, they're bathing in it. The amount of pollution, the amount of plastic, the amount of bacteria and dirt that I saw, it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe that people are living in this way. And we're offering a chance for our viewers to support a community, an entire community, by building a £1,500 water well. Now, I know that sounds like a lot. We're in a cost of living crisis. Inflation is rising. We're all struggling in our own ways. So I get it. But at the same time, my dear viewers, I don't have my phone on me, but I'm sure you do. Pick up your phone, go onto WhatsApp, and the first 15 people that come up on your chat, I want you to send them a message. And Sister Sarah, I'm going to put you on the spot now. Can you give us a lovely message for our dear viewers to write to their mates? How should they encourage their friends to donate and raise some money for a water well?
Okay, all I'm gonna say it's not just £1,500 in a water well. It's actually an investment for you and paradise as well. So after you pass away, after you die, every day, whoever will be drinking from that well, you'll be getting sawab even after you pass away. Because Allah knows that you're the one who paid for the well, right? And you're gonna get a reward. You're gonna get an extreme, you can't even count the blessings and the rewards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives. And don't think of it as £1,500. What I think of, I hope everyone thinks like me in this way. It's not just £1,500, but it's 1,500 smiles on the faces of the severely malnourished, severely thirsty. It's 1,500 hopes we've rising again.
Beautiful.
Think of it that way. It's if we've okay, let me just say one thing. We know if we give it today, Allah will we'll earn it again. We go to work the next day and we'll earn it. But these people don't even have hope for now. They don't know where the water will come from. And if you give it now, they'll be satisfied for the rest of their lives. They know we'll get up. Because when we wake up, we've got like a tight schedule. We get up, we go to uni, we come back home. We know everything's sorted. We'll buy coffee from somewhere. But these young kids and these poor families have it in their to-do list to find water. They don't know where they'll get the food from. They don't know where they get the water from. So if we already, pay for the well and we can build a well for them, at least they'll have this hope that, we know where we can get safe water from. So think of it as 1,500 smiles, not pounds.
That's so beautiful. I absolutely love that image. You know what I can see in my head is just children smiling.
Yes.
Because like Sister Sarah said, you've alleviated that burden from them. You've removed that burden from their parents, and you've provided them with a source of life This
Exactly.
is not just a source of water, this is a source of life. And you know what's more is when you build that water well and you put your name of your marhumin on that plaque.
Ooh,
Every
yes.
single time one person comes, they will recite a Fatiha for your marhumin. They will pray for the prosperity of your family. And who knows, that prayer of that young child living in a village in the outskirts of Karbala might be the prayer that you need in your life. It might be
Yes.
the prayer that saves you from the bala in your life, you know.
Exactly.
And when you build that water well, and you have one person coming, and you know he might have some skills, so he might be a carpenter, for example. And then you have another guy coming to this water well, and he might be a craftsman of a different type. And then you have another woman come to this water well, and she might be a fantastic cook. And then you brought all these people together, and now suddenly, not just providing water to individuals, but by building that water well, you create a hub for a community to gather, to exchange ideas, to remind each other of God, to remind each other of their religious obligations, of their social duties, to educate their children together. You know, when I go to school, and I'm a teacher, but I learn so much from my students. When I go to school and I learn something from my students or a colleague or whoever it is, the first thing I do, Sister Sarah, is I go home and I go, Mom, guess what? Guess what I saw today? Guess what this person said today? Isn't that so cool? Isn't that so amazing? You know, we share knowledge. We share this, you know, this wonderful commodity, this wonderful, wonderful commodity of knowledge and of education and of skill. So by providing that water well, you're not just providing one person with one cup of water. You are providing those individuals with access to clean drinking water, to be able to feed their crops, to be able to do wudu, to be able to do ghusl. The list can go on. But then you're also providing them a place to connect with one another. And that is so vital in the situations that they're living. That connection is lacking. And we know, you know, COVID was a great example of the fact that social interaction and connection, you know, loneliness is a huge killer. And the circumstances in which these people are living sometimes is not conducive of going and visiting your friend and going and checking in on your uncle, you know. And so by providing this water well, you're also providing them a place to congregate and to share love and share connection, which I think is beautiful, Sister Sarah.
Yeah. You know when you mentioned the marhumin, that reminded me of a very amazing story I always mention to the young people of how our actions can benefit the marhumin. So in the time of Prophet Ibrahim, he was passing down a graveyard and he heard a grave who was, you know, going through severe punishment, right? And then the next day he passes again, and then there was no sound, like it was all calm and peaceful. And then Prophet Ibrahim, you know, asks Allah, and he's like, "Oh Allah, what happened now? What did the person do immediately? That one day I just came here 24 hours before, and he was being severely punished. What did he do? You know, immediately?" And then Allah says that you know, he was the father of one child, and he was a young guy, 20-year-old, and he built a bridge for people to walk easily through a broken path. So now whenever people cross that path, they give praise to his parents. And they say, "Oh, you know, I pray for the parents, good health," or anything. They don't know, obviously, they passed away. But Allah is still keeping those prayers, and he helped the father so much that he finished the punishment in the grave. So that's how Allah uses our prayers, uses our good deeds, and uses it on our marhumin. He rewards us in this world as well. We don't notice it, but like immediately our, you know, daily chores become so easy, and then we reflect and we're like, "Oh yeah, I helped that specific person." So Allah looks at you all the time. Allah is watching. Imam Zamana Ajra Talib Sharif is watching as well. So do it for the sake of Imam Zamana. You know, you don't do it for someone else. Honestly, when you know that you do it for these sources and you have this 100% yaqeen that they will give you something in return, watch how quickly you donate. Watch how quickly you're willing to donate, you know? So
Ahsan. Dear viewers, what more can I say? What more can I say? If you need more motivation than that, then Ya Rabbi, please help me. Come on. You have got to make a difference today. As Sister Sarah said, if you have yaqeen that you will be rewarded and you will be, that reward will be returned back to you in plentyfold, not just in the amount that you gave, but multiplied by whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's rahmah is, then why are we waiting? Why are we delaying? Visit us at thehopeappeal.com. Call into the call handler line 0208 05000 14 and make a difference today. Remember, this video, this difference, that you're making is not just making a difference for someone else in another country. It's not just making a difference for you sitting here today. It's making a difference to those people that have passed on to this next world. Those people that you love dearly. Those people that you might look at a picture of every day and remember and pray for. You're making a difference for their souls as well. And that is a beautifully powerful thing to be able to do. My dear brothers and sisters, we're going to show you another video of the beautiful work and the beautiful opportunities that you have to support humanity. So inshallah, I want you to watch this video, but not just like you scroll through your phone and not just how you watch the TV. I want you to watch this with presence of heart, with presence of mind. I want you to open your eyes to the realities of orphans living across the world. And inshallah, when we're back, we're going to do something about it. Okay, so stick with us and we'll be right back. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. We're in the house of Hussein, who is a widow who has 6 children. Her children, you can see behind me, are so beautiful, mashallah. And to see them living in this extreme heat with a lack of electricity, a lack of clean water, a lack of proper food, it's heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking. Listening to Hussein's story, seeing the emotion and the pain in her eyes, the pain in the eyes of her children, it's heartbreaking. It's honestly heartbreaking. The smell, because of the lack of sewage system here, and the heat doesn't make that any better. They need your help. These orphans need your help. Children are children wherever they are in the world, and they deserve a good life. They deserve to be happy. They deserve to be smiling. They deserve an education. And with the Hope Appeal, you can offer that to these children that you see beside me. For £40 a month, you can sponsor directly an orphan in one of these lands, in one of these countries, and assist them with education, with healthcare, with clothing, so that they don't have to live in the same way that their mothers have lived, and that they have more hope, inshallah, through your donations. Please do look at our website, look at the case studies that we have done, and look at the support that we have offered already. The support we have offered already is amazing, but dear brothers and sisters, it's not enough. We need to continue the work that we're doing on the ground, and we can only do that through your generous donations. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear Hope Appeal family. Thank you so much for being here and for showing a beautiful intention towards the act of assisting and serving humanity. It pains me deeply to watch footage like that. You know, it takes me back to my body in that room, and the smell of sewage, and the laughs of children, and the tears of widows. That's what I'm feeling right now. You know, that's what I can see. And the irony is that these mothers and these children are so content with what they have and so pleased with their life, but at the same time they are so much in desperate need of assistance, and they know that they are, and they are not shy to say that we need help. They are not shy to speak to us and explain their situation. Let me explain the situation of Hussein. Hussein had 5 orphans. And you can see their faces. They are absolutely beautiful children. Their father was killed in a family dispute over land, and that's a sensitive one for the Shia of Ali. You know, disputes over land is something that touches us. Family dispute over land, and the family member of this father threw a grenade into the household, into the front room of this family, and these children are in the back room, and they watch their father literally blown to pieces in their own home, that home that is supposed to be your sanctuary, that home that is supposed to be your shelter. The only safe place in the world is our homes. You know, after a long day, we come home and we go, ah. And now these children have witnessed their father get killed inside their own house. The pain on this mother's face is not something that I can explain to you in words, but you can hear it in my voice, and you can see it when you watch that video, that she is struggling. She is struggling. And for a donation of £110, you can support the Where Most Needed package. Now, the thing, Sister Sarah, that I love so much about the Where Most Needed package is that literally it goes where it's most needed. So it's not about, oh, I want to donate water, I want to do this, I want to do... It removes my ego from this situation, and it says, here you are, here's the money, charity, I trust you, you know what you're doing more than I know, you know where the need is more than I know. Do what is necessary, help whoever needs it right now. And believe you me, there are millions and millions of orphans worldwide that need help right now. So I am urging you, my dear brothers and sisters, to visit us at thehopeappeal.com. Check out the orphans case studies, the orphans that we have already supported. Check out the water wells that we've already built. Check out the Ramadan food parcels that are already being delivered to the countries that need them. That Where Most Needed package, Sister Sarah, £110, I mean, we can donate that. Surely our viewers can donate that today.
You know, one thing I want to put here is no one has everyone deserves a good life. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, every child deserves to wake up in a safe environment, right? Us waking up in a safe environment, knowing where we can get our food, knowing, we've got family, knowing we've got a father, knowing we've got a mother to look and take care of us. This is a very underrated blessing. It's something we've taken granted of, and the story you just told me, it breaks my heart that the fact of the children seeing their father being blown away is a fact of, imagine the trauma they're gonna live by the whole life until they're alive. So what if the £110 brings some hope? What if they're hopeless, but it brings hope? Again, the hope appeal. We are here to bring hope in others. What if it brings a smile on their face? What if it brings some satisfaction on the mother that, it's not just me who has to take care of the children. There are other people who Allah has sent for our help.
And Sister Sarah, you remind me of a beautiful point. Is what is the trauma that these children are seeing? Where Most Needed package can literally mean anything. And the Hope Appeal Fantastic are also offering healthcare. Let's talk a little bit about that. So we're talking, of course, your standard medicines that we get here for free on the NHS, but they don't have access to in countries like Iraq, Tanzania, Afghanistan, Pakistan. They don't have it. We're talking medication, we're talking the ability and access to visit doctors and nurses, skilled practitioners, and get diagnoses. We're also talking about mental health assistance, okay? The ability to go and speak to someone, the ability to go and see a counsellor, a psychiatrist, get that help that, we have a lot of stigma in our communities. There's a lot of stigma in these countries. And sometimes these families don't realise that what they